Welcome back to the 72-hour test drive. I don't do 10-minute test drives at the dealerships. I don't think you get a feel for the vehicle. It's very important to park it in your driveway, drive it to 2 or 3 of your local spots. I went to the gym, I went to the grocery store, I went to the gas station. There's only one of each in town, so I got to experience this vehicle under all of those circumstances, which means a lot. It means more to me than just going in and, oh yeah, it drives real nice, then you get home and you're like, I can't get it in the driveway, like, the street's too tight, or whatever goes on. I didn't have any of those issues because I live in a pretty quiet town with wide roads and long driveways, and everything was good. Everything about the truck is amazing, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a Chevy fanboy. It drives like I want a truck to drive, and I wasn't always that opinionated on GM trucks in general. The previous gen to this I found drove very minivan-like, very floaty and soft and smooth, and that's not how I want my truck to drive. I want it to feel composed and a little more rigid, a little bit more, I guess, just more like a rough ride. I want to feel the road. I want to know that this truck's going to handle if I hit some stuff, but that's not where trucks were headed. But it does seem like we've gotten back to it, which is really, really nice. It does drive really nice. I can feel the road and I get some feedback, but it's not crazy. It's just the right balance between everything. To be honest, the only way to describe it is kind of like the Mag Ride and the Camaro. The Mag Ride is a pretty stiff ride, but when you need it to, it softens up. Well, this is pretty stiff, but the tires have a fair bit of sidewall and provide some give, so it's kind of the right balance. Road and tire noise is a huge concern for me. I would rather hear the vehicle or nothing than hear howling of tires. So you can hear the spring in my shaker cup, I'm sure. It's kind of annoying. But beyond that, there's minimal tire noise. You can hear them, but nothing that I would ever complain about. Music on very low will drown it out, which is acceptable. But this is also a factory exhaust system. It is very, very quiet. So that's 4,500 RPM, entering a faster speed zone. And that was it. That was all the exhaust note you're going to get. So I would assume, once you do some MBRP magic, a little bit of rumble would compensate for the tire noise, and you'd be right where you want to be with an almost dead quiet vehicle. I don't like the howling and the loud and whatever else goes on. I do like it to be quiet and comfortable for the most part. And that was one thing I hated with the Camaro. It has run flats. And anybody that's driven a sports car with run flats knows it is loud and a very choppy ride. So didn't want to get back into that scenario where I'm trying to fix a problem that comes from factory. The only complaint I have with the truck, like, I'm not going to nitpick things because it's an American vehicle. You guys can, I mean, you hear it all the time from everybody. There's orange peel in the paint, and there's this and there's that. Of course there is. I'm sure if I went underneath, I could find things I don't love. But that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to give you my impressions of it as an overall vehicle. Aesthetically, I have never had more attention from a vehicle. I mean, I drive a crazy sports car with canards and wings and fins and decals and lightning bolts. And I mean, this got me more conversations talking about vehicles than that has at all. So, really, really interesting. That just shows you the market of trucks. It's just so big, and everybody loves them. So, the demographic is just literally everywhere, whereas sports cars, not so much. So the outside appearance, I mean, love it, hate it, I don't really care. I love it. When I talked to one of the designers of the vehicle, they said that this vehicle was designed to look like knuckles going through the air, like a fist. And it kind of does, kind of doesn't, but it is pretty aggressive looking. It is very unique looking, which is what I really like. It does not look like every other year of GM. It looks like you bought a new truck. Whereas the Dodges and this and that, they make the classic. Like, I don't really know enough about them to be like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so a year. And I know there's lots and lots of people that can, but I'm just not that guy. So, it's nice to have some distinguishing features from one to the next, to say the least. And then, what else was I going to talk about here? The interior, I mean, I know everybody has their opinions, and I've spent lots of time in all of the brands, new Fords and new Dodges. Never buy a Toyota, so don't bring that into the conversation. But as far as the interior goes, this is no better or worse than any of the others. I know Dodge, you can get a big screen. I love this 8-inch touchscreen. It works really, really well. It's super fast, intuitive. Like, I have no complaints. If it works well, why fix it? I'm kind of on board with all that. If you had to made it a 10-inch screen, sure, it's a bigger screen, but it does the same job. When you're cruising around at night with these giant screens, it does get a little taxing on your eyeballs. So sometimes just running a good thing is a good thing, right? And the only complaint I have with the interior as far as quality is these little dongles. So you've got a roller wheel here, and you've got like a toggle switch here. These are gonna not, I don't think these are gonna age very well. Oh, there we go, cruise is set now apparently. I don't think these are gonna age very well, and they're gonna wear off and look smooth and kind of dated, versus like the sides here, which are just buttons. I wish these were just buttons all the way around, because buttons wear really, really well. 95,000 kilometers on my Camaro. And the steering wheel buttons have all the color and all of the jazz and pizzazz to them. So that's kind of a concern. That's about the only thing in the whole interior. The rest of it, the dials with the rubber and that, you're not touching all the time. I'm always setting cruise. I live on cruise control. I'm constantly scrolling through screens trying to read the information. That's about my only gripe. Media controls on the back, I love. Column shift, another point of contention. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you know, they just live in the past. They do. My dad has an 01 Duramax. He had a 89 Chevy. Like, they're always column shifts. So that's what I was born and raised with. So for me, that just made sense. I do love the center console space, so I wouldn't give that up for a shifter. I don't love the turn dial in the Dodge. So this is where we're at. I know in the future they will be going to the push buttons, which will be a totally fine adjustment, but we're not there yet, and I can't wait another year and a half for a truck. So we got to do something. Beyond that, just really, really happy with this truck. I got to do a little bit of shopping and a little bit of looking. This truck has a lot of features. This specific truck has almost $8,000 in add-ons that I'm not overly interested in. I would more or less love a base model version of this. The LED headlights are incredible at night, by the way. Holy. But that's a stock thing when you get to the LT. What I haven't been sold on is the motor. The 5.3 liter V8 is a great engine. It will last. It's got AFM, which is great. It doesn't wow me. It's just okay. It is sufficient. It moves the vehicle. It's quiet. It's smooth. But to be honest, after driving my buddy's 2019 EcoBoost with the 2.7 liter, his truck feels like it has more jam when you get into the pedal than this does with the 5.3. And not that I'm racing, which I will be, but that's here and there. I will take my truck that I end up with to the drag strip. We're going to do some things, but until then, I tow and I do lots of daily stuff. I want to go camping. I want to take some RVs out. And not that this truck isn't capable. It just doesn't have the jam I want. When I want to, like, I'm cruising in an 80 zone, kilometers an hour. I want to make a pass. It's like, it's okay. This transmission is wicked fast, so it makes it better, but it's still only okay. And my heart just feels like it needs that 6.2 for longevity, and just keep me happier with the truck, I guess. And it's always the trade-off, right? Do you want the features or do you want the motor? I can't afford both, so I'm going to pick motor every day of the week and go for more of a plain Jane truck and then doll it up from there. So there's a lot of conversation to go back and forth on it, but overall I'm really impressed. I'm really happy with the whole new chassis and platform for this truck. Has always impressed me since the day it came out, and getting to spend more and more time with them and see different configurations and packages and all that, it really is, it really is impressive what they've done, and I'm pretty excited for the future. I'm excited to see what the interior refresh looks like. I'm excited to see what some different trims. I've been hearing buzz of a ZR2 Silverado. That would probably be my dream setup, to have the 6.2 liter in a ZR2 but in a half ton would be a pretty wicked set of business. So yeah, that's it. That's kind of my 72-hour review and overview of the 2021 Silverado. It does have wireless Apple CarPlay, which again, once your Wi-Fi package runs out, is no longer an option. So kind of an irrelevant thing to mention, because I will not pay any amount of money to put Wi-Fi in the vehicle. And cell phone plans, I mean 20 gig or unlimited are pretty much standard now for cell phone plans. So I'm not going to spend 20 bucks a month or $25 a month on 3 gigabytes. It's just absolutely ludicrous. And I don't understand their marketing strategy. I don't understand why they don't want more people using it versus just the very select few that either forgot to cancel it or feel like 1 gigabyte's going to save the world. Makes no sense to me. So that's it. 72 hours with the Silverado. I'm a happy guy. I'm going to continue working on getting my car to trade in, and I'm going to get one of these put in the driveway. Till next time, drive safe, take care, and behave, as always.